Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Agoziem here again. If this is your first time of seeing my face, my name is Chiagoziem Ezigwe. I live in the province of Alberta, Canada. On this channel, I share lifestyle content, how to move to Canada, how to settle in smoothly as an international student as well as a newcomer, and any other thing that comes to mind I feel my viewers may love. I also bring it to you guys firsthand. On this channel, I'm pretty much detailed with information. So if this is the kind of content you love, please feel free to click on the subscribe button you see down below and you will definitely not regret it. Okay, thank you for stopping by and thank you for coming back. Guys, before I get down to the business of the day, I want to first of all thank you guys for over 3,000 subscribers. Guys, I'm super happy. I'm so grateful, very grateful. I've not been super consistent on this channel because of a lot of things. I started working, blah 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 blah. I became very inconsistent. Regardless, people still reach out to me on Instagram to ask me questions. I'm like, I thought you guys must have forgotten me for some reasons because I've not been here for a very long time. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate. Even those that click on that subscribe button without seeing like recent posts, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for believing in me, and I'm not going to disappoint you guys. Thank you. I don't know the title of this video yet, but I feel like I owe it to you guys to just carry you guys along. So today we are going to be gisting. Okay, today's video is about gisting. So I'm going to carry you guys along from the time I applied for my postgraduate work permit. No, scratch that. I'm going to start from the time I finished nursing school after my graduation. You know what? This video, I don't even know how this video is going to go, but I'm sure we are going to vibe, okay? Let me take you guys all the way back, okay? So if you guys could remember in my last video, I told you guys I was going to, if you guys wanted me to talk about how I got my postgraduate work permit and everything about it, talk about it, you guys should let me know. And some people sent me a DM. I got some comments in the comment section telling me to talk about it. So we're going to start from there, okay? So after I finished my preceptorship on the 30th of April of 2024, I went ahead to apply for my postgraduate work permit. So postgraduate work permit, if you don't know what it is, if this is your first time of hearing it, so as an international student, once you finish school, and if you attended a DLI means Designated Learning Institute, once you finish, you're eligible to apply for a postgraduate work permit. So this postgraduate work permit allows you to stay back in Canada and work. So if you did a 2-year program, you're entitled to a 3-year postgraduate work permit. If you did a 1-year program, you're entitled to a 1-year postgraduate work permit. So in my situation, I did a 2-year program. So that is how it works. And immediately I finished my preceptorship on the 30th of April. I got my documents from my school, my transcript, my letter of completion, and I went ahead to do medical. Yes, I did medical. Guys, that was not even funny because I was like, why do medical? I did medical prior to coming to Canada, and I've lived in Canada for all this while, and I have immunization. It's on my Alberta Health. So why can't you guys have access to that? Why do I have to do medicals again? The medical was not cheap. It was, oh no, you thought it was free? Oh no, it was not free, my dears, it wasn't free. So I had to pay a total of, let me remember, I had to pay almost $400 or even more for the medical, and I had to do it at Edmonton. My friend and I went there and we did our medical. So when the medical result came out, if you did medical prior to coming to Canada, you know that they send it directly to IRCC. So they sent it to IRCC. We were given a printout at the end of the medical that we would upload on the portal when we are applying for our postgraduate work permit. I don't want this video to be jumping, but I just want to make sure my train of thought is intact while giving you guys all this gist. So that was what happened. So when the medical came out, they sent it to IRCC directly, and that was it. So after April, I applied for my postgraduate work permit, like let's say a week or two before my graduation. I graduated on the 30th of May 2024. So before my graduation, I had already applied for my postgraduate work permit. Once you finish school, you cannot work. Okay, so even when I finished my preceptorship on the 30th, I couldn't even go back to work. In as much as I had a lot of shifts at work, I had to stay back to apply for my postgraduate work permit. Postgraduate work permit application costed us like over $200. Application for PGWP is not free, I applied for PGWP, I paid for it, I paid for my medical, then I put my PGWP application prior to my graduation. Once you apply for your PGWP, you have to wait for IRCC to send you an email to say that they've received your application, and once they tell you that they've received your application, you are then authorized to start working full-time. Okay, but remember, from the time you finish school till the time you apply for that postgraduate work permit, you are not allowed to work. Don't even say, let me do mago, let me do this. If they catch you, they can deny your postgraduate work permit. It will not be like your village people. Do not tempt IRCC. I wasn't working. I was just staying home, enjoying myself, like resting from moving from Edmonton back to Petaskewin, resting from all the stress during preceptorship and all that. That was what I did during that time. Let me tell you guys, the brokenness was hot. I don't think I've ever been that broke since I came to Canada. Well, but the brokenness that period was something else, because after paying all this money, pay this, pay that. Now let me not forget. So after my graduation, like, okay, I graduated on the 30th. On the 31st of May, I had to pay for my license. So if you're a nursing student, if you're in the practical nursing program, if you don't already know, I don't know about other provinces, but once you finish nursing school, you have to write an exam called the jurisprudence exam. So jurisprudence exam allows you to practice in that particular province. Let's say you want to move to another province and practice as a nurse, you have to write another jurisprudence exam for that particular province. So that is how it works. So after my graduation, actually prior to my graduation, I wrote the jurisprudence exam, I passed it. Then I had to pay. So for me to practice with a temporary license as a fresh grad, you need to pay for the big license. So the big license costed like $1,000. Guys, that is why I said the brokenness I faced that period. I was so broke and money was leaving. Money was leaving my accounts anyhow. So remember, I paid for PGWP, I did medical, I paid for my license, I paid for registration on the CLPNA website for my nursing stuff. The money we calculated that period was almost $3,000. So imagine somebody that wasn't really working during preceptorship, because I wasn't really working as much. I was just working to pay my rent in Wetaskiwin while I was living in Edmonton. So I was so broke paying all this money, even though most of them were, I didn't pay most of them out of my own pocket. Family took care of it, but it was a very, very broke period for me. And I'm going to come to the advice at the end of this video, so watch till the end, okay? Do not even stop. So after I applied for my PGWP, then and I was now authorized to go back to work. So what I did was that I went back to my place of work. I told them that see, like, I can now work. Oh, you guys, like, I have my temporary license. Remember, I said I already paid for my license, right? The big money. So once you pay for the big exam, which is the big nursing board exam, there's a writing window for it. So the writing window was like between July or between June to August, something like that. So that is the writing window for it. So you have to just pick a date within that writing window to write your board exam. So with that temporary license you have, after paying that $1,000, you can work as a nurse for a period of 1 year. So you're authorized to hold that temporary license for a period of 1 year. So that was how I was able to go back to my manager and tell her that, okay, I already have my temporary license, I'm now eligible to work as a nurse. If you guys remember from my last 2 videos, okay, I know it's been a very long time, but I just want to carry you guys along. So after that, I went back to my manager. I told her that I had my temporary license and I started working as a nurse at my place of work. So I now started waiting for my postgraduate work permit. I thought it was going to take me so long to get my PGWP. I reached out to people that applied before me, people that finished school before me. Some said that it took them 6 months to get their postgraduate work permit. Some said that it took them so and so time. If you know me, I can be very, very paranoid. I was like, what if they deny my postgraduate work permit? That's what I used to think then. What if they deny my postgraduate work permit? What if this happens? What if that happens? Every time I say, God, they should not deny my postgraduate work permit. Not like I did anything wrong. I wasn't doing anything wrong. The full-time work privilege applied to me in my situation. So not like I worked overtime or I worked more than I was supposed to work. I wasn't doing anything. I was just like a very normal law-abiding person living in Canada. But on the other hand, I was just scared, like, that paranoia, and I was just so paranoid for for no silly reasons. I don't even understand. I don't know why I was so paranoid. But from the time I applied for my PGWP was approved in June, approved like third week of June. It did not take so long for it to be approved. I was just on my own. I got an email. I was at work on that day. I got an email that have, how they send you an email, tell you have an email on the portal. I was like, God, I cannot wait. Let me just get home and check it. So even if they denied me my PGWP, so I'll just stay in my house and cry on my own. I'm so dramatic, but that was how I felt. I got home. I just used my laptop, logged like I had to log in, and I opened. I was like, they were like, oh, your PGWP has been approved. I expect the hard copy in a couple of days. If you don't receive it in a couple of days, then call so and so number. I was like, just like that. So my PGWP took like let's say roughly 2 months, and I got it. Now let me tell you, if you're planning to come to Canada and you are sure you're coming to Canada and you want to apply for passport, like if you're from wherever you're coming from, please make sure you get 10 years. Make sure you get 10 years. You get why? If you're in a practical nursing program, this is what I did. I'm going to advise you. When I booked for my license exam, when I paid that $1,000, I did not pick a date, because I knew within myself that period I was very, very stressed. I was going to be so stressed because I was looking for my bigger nursing job. Even prepare for my board exam, I did not bother myself. So what I did was that I had to push the exam forward. Each time you move from the writing window you paid for and you postponed your exam to another writing window, you have to pay a sum of $100. So when I moved my writing window from that June to August window to July to September window ish, I think I had to pay $100. Okay, so guys, that was what happened. So I had to pay $100. So let me tell you, it's better for you to pay $100 than for you to pay another $1,000 again. What I mean by that is that it's better for you to move it by paying $100 than for you to fail it and pay another $1,000. Okay, because I don't know about you, but and that rich. Okay, that's why I had to move my exam. Now I have something to say to you guys. If you are graduating very soon, if you're in your second year, even if you've not come to Canada, this advice is very, very important. As a student, in as much as you're working 24 hours per week, if you have help coming from family, if you have a job, if you have whatever help coming from somewhere, I would advise you greatly to start saving money. Put money together. Save money, because life after school, like I said, from the time you finish school till the time you apply for PGWP, you cannot work. And if you're studying anything healthcare, just know that you must do medical, unless they decide to change it tomorrow. And for medical, you have to pay for it, okay? You have to pay for the medical, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for that. If you have a board exam to write, you have to book the board exam, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for that. So I would advise you that once you are nearing, just make sure you are saving money. Once you're entering second year or the final year of your studies or whatever, start putting money together that you can use to pay for all these things. Number two, the money you save, make sure that this money, you are putting it in a very tight account, because once you finish school, you'll be needing that money. Believe me, you will be needing that money. So make sure you put money together. All the very important. It is very, very important. I can't even talk about this enough. I think I made a very short clip when my friend and I went to do our medical. she said something. She was like, you better start saving money now, because it touched us that it wasn't really our fault, because we were doing clinical. We went from writing a bunch of exams in our final year in nursing school to going for preceptorship that was so intense. We had to live in another city, in as much as our school paid for part of our rent when we were living in Edmonton. But we still had to transport ourselves to work. We had to eat. Small money we had, we finished it. There are times you can't eat. See, save money for contingencies like this. Save money for things like this. Good. I think I've come to the end of this video. This video is quite unscripted. I just wanted to like give you guys like gist from then to now. Before I end this video, once you get your PGWP, what do you do next? Once you get your PGWP, what you should do is send a message or go to the registry and apply for a new health card. Because remember, when you apply for your first health card when you go to Canada, the expiry date on that ID card is the same expiry date that is on your study permit. Okay, so once you finish school and your study permit expires and you get your postgraduate work permit, make sure you go back to the registry, apply for a new health card. If you have a driver's license, make sure that it's still within that time. If it expired with your study permit, apply for a new driver's license. Another thing you should do is make sure you apply for a new TRV. I think it's TRV, Canada Travel Visa, something like that. You know the seal they put on your passport, that stamp, Canada seal, the visa seal on your passport. Make sure you apply for another TRV. I don't know if it's called TRV. I don't know, but if it's not called TRV, I'm just going to put the right thing on the screen. Make sure you apply for another seal. Now that you cannot live in Canada without the old seal you had, without the former visa you have, but you know your visa has expired. So let's say you want to travel to the US or you want to travel to any country, you know you cannot come back into Canada without having a visa, right? Even if you have a job offer in Canada. The PGWP document you have is not a travel document. It is even boldly written on it. It is not a travel document, my brothers and sisters. Make sure to apply for another stamp on the passport. As I'm talking to you, I've not applied for mine because I'm not planning to travel anytime soon, but I can always apply for it. I don't know if it's something you have to pay for. Make sure that all your documents are still very, very valid. So when I apply for a new health card, the new health card has the same timeline as my work permit. Okay, it has the same expiry date as my work permit. So when my work permit expires and I reapply, it's still going to have the same expiry date as my next document I'm going to get at the end of the day. I don't know if you guys understand. So that is what you should do after getting your postgraduate work permit. I think I've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, I know you did, please do give me a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Okay, bye guys, and thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for subscribing, and if you've not subscribed, please help me. Should I kneel down? Please help me. Thank you, and bye.